Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1. Strange girl claims she's house sitting for a tenant, not sure what to do. My husband and I are private landlords. One of our tenants, we'll call him James, left for a trip at the beginning of the summer and asked us to keep an eye on the house while he's gone. I drive past 2 to 3 times a day and stop in every couple days to get mail, water his plants, and check on things. I have his original house key to get in, but I also know where he keeps his spare key. Today my husband went over to mow and water the lawn. He used the key to enter so he could play Xbox while the sprinkler went, with James's permission, and discovered another person in the house. He went back out and called me to ask if James had anyone staying there. I said no and came over to meet him. This time we knocked and the woman answered the door. I asked who she was. She said she was James's girlfriend and she was house sitting for the summer. We were immediately suspicious because we have been house sitting for 2 months and never seen this woman, even though I enter the house 2 to 3 times a week at least, and I've never seen anything indicating someone was living here. Also, James is backpacking out of the country with his boyfriend. While that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have a girlfriend, we know for a fact he's gay and in a committed relationship, so that makes this whole thing even more suspicious. She claimed James gave her a key. On our way out, hubby checked where James hides his spare key, and it's missing when it was there on Wednesday, because I used it when I forgot the regular key. She has no proof she even knows James. We asked her if she had any photos or texts on her phone from James proving their relationship, and she claimed she doesn't have a cell phone, but a pink studded iPhone was sitting on the coffee table and wasn't there on Wednesday. We can't get a hold of James to ask him what's up. It will be another 2 weeks before he calls to check in, and he doesn't have reliable service. I left a message with his mom in case he calls her, and she said James has never mentioned a girlfriend to her. He's never had a girlfriend in his life and she's never heard of this girl. She thinks it could be an acquaintance looking for a free place to crash. She offered to sign anything. She has power of attorney for James to get her out if necessary, but she lives 3 hours away. On one hand, it's not our business who James is seeing or invites to the house. On the other, we have a really bad feeling this girl is here illegally and looking for a free place to live, possibly even trying to steal stuff from the house. Right now, the next-door neighbor's son is outside discreetly watching the house to report if she tries to steal furniture or anything, but so far all she's done is gone swimming and sunbathed in the backyard. What should we do? Hubby wants to call the police and make her prove she has permission, but I'm worried we might be overstepping as landlords. But I also don't want to do nothing and see James get robbed. She claims she's been there for weeks, and she might try to say she's a tenant, too. What's the best way to handle this? Edit, the neighbor's son watching the house, he just texted Ms. Parker, I have a really bad feeling she's a stalker. James told my mom that if a girl who looked like her came around to tell him BC she's a troublemaker. And mom said she thinks she might be a stalker and to call police if we saw her, /. So apparently James might have a stalker and this woman fits the description of the woman they were told to watch out for. Edit update, editor's note, update made same day, about 5 hours later. We have no idea what is going on. We met the police at the next door neighbor's house and explained the situation. They asked us a lot of questions about James, what we knew about the woman, pretty much normal questions. Then the questions got unceasingly weird, like, did the woman seem agitated or defensive? Did she appear to be pregnant? Did you see or hear an infant in the house? Did you see any baby items laying around? Did you notice anything unusual about her hair? Did she have any visible birthmarks or deformities? Did she speak with an unusual accent? Things that made no sense at all considering we thought this was a possible robbery. What is the purpose of these questions? The officers asked us to look at some photos and could we identify the woman. During this time other police officers arrived. There were 7 to 8 officers at this point, and 3 went over next door to talk to the woman while we stayed at the neighbor's house. She answered the door right away. We couldn't make out what they were saying, but she seemed totally relaxed and happy, not upset or scared. They talked for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, then she stepped out on the porch and the officers arrested her pretty aggressively. They asked for permission to go through the house, which his mother gave by phone, and asked my husband to list any closets, storage, or crawl spaces. They came back twice asking if there was an attic or a basement, and if we had done any recent work on the walls. We had, but they never explained why, or what they were looking for. They also located her blue Ford Fusion parked 3 houses down across the street, which they towed. They did recover the spare key on her person, but they instructed us to replace all of the locks on that key tonight, so we're getting ready to go to Home Depot right now while the neighbor's husband stays in the house. We're also going to look for security cameras. We did mention the possible stalking, but they didn't seem remotely interested in what the neighbor had to say about it. So we have no idea who this woman is, why she was really there, what the police were looking for, what the hell just happened, or what's going to happen next. One officer gave us a business card with his badge number and cell phone number and wrote down his matter number on the back, so he said to expect a phone call in the next few days if they have any more questions. But they were very hush-hush about what was going on, and the only thing they would tell us is, it's an ongoing investigation and they can't release any information at this time. They won't even tell us if they think James or his boyfriend are involved. I am freaking the hell out right now. We tried contacting James and his boyfriend for the last few hours with no success. I left him a voicemail to call me back as soon as possible, but I didn't want to break the news by voicemail. Hopefully he calls me back soon. What happens next? What can we expect now? What happens if James was involved in this? I really don't think he is, but I don't know what to think right now. Tonight has been one big blur, and I don't know what we should be doing right now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Story 2. My sister keeps posting personal details of our relationship on her public blog/Twitter. She doesn't seem to understand why I don't like this, and I am at my wit's end. Whenever I do something that upsets my sister, her first reaction is to post it on her personal, albeit public blog and her Twitter. She doesn't come and talk to me about the issue, or how we can work through it, and instead publicly posts about the issue, often using negative language and insulting me. This is an ongoing issue that has been occurring for many years. I have asked her numerous times to please stop posting about me on her blog/Twitter, and that if she has an issue with something I am doing with her, to please come talk to me first, but her reaction is always the same. She claims that nobody cares that she vents about her family online, and that it's her personal blog/Twitter, and because of that she can do whatever she wants on it. I've tried explaining to her that this is disrespectful to me, and that while yes, it is her personal blog/Twitter, she is posting about me in a public sphere on the internet, and therefore it is no longer personal. It is upsetting to me because I feel like I can no longer have a relationship with her, because I live in the constant fear that if I do so little as breathe wrong, my actions will be blogged/tweeted about without so little as her coming to me first to discuss the issue. In the past, she used to tweet/blog about me and my ex-boyfriend, and how she hated him, and would tweet about us having sex. Me and my sister used to live together. I don't live with her anymore, thankfully, but when I go to visit my mother, where she lives, there's always the chance that I'll do something and she'll react by blogging/tweeting about it. More recently, she posted about how I ruined her day and was insensitive for posting a photo of our father on the anniversary of his death and sharing a few positive memories I had of him on FB. She claimed I didn't think of anyone but myself when posting that photo. I felt bad that this upset her, but he was my dad too, and I wanted to hear some positive memories about my father from his friends. When I tried to talk to her about the issue, she stopped responding to me and proceeded to tweet/blog about how she doesn't have time for my whiny bullshit and that I needed to stop being so sensitive. I am at a loss of what to do here. Is there any way I can get her to stop posting about me online? Or am I overreacting? TLDR, my sister keeps posting personal details of our relationship on her public blog/Twitter whenever I do something that upsets her and refuses to discuss the issue she has with me beforehand. What can I do in this situation? Update, my F26 sister, F23, keeps posting personal details of our relationship on her public blog/Twitter. She doesn't seem to understand why I don't like this, and I am at my wit's end. April 14, 2019. Figured I'd give an update to this situation as it's almost been 2 years since the original post. Link below. After reading through everyone's responses and taking time for myself to see how I really felt about the whole situation, I did as I said I was going to do, and blocked my sister on all forms of social media. I also cut her out of my life, albeit temporarily. For about 8 months, I didn't speak to her, nor make any attempts at communicating with her. That summer, so about 2 months after I had stopped contact with her, my sister moved away for school. My mother eventually got wind of the situation from my brother, who was 24 at the time and has never been particularly close with our younger sister, and asked me why I wasn't talking to my sister. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, thank you. Initially, she was judgmental, but after explaining to her my sister's repeated behavior of posting personal details about me online, including my phone number and details about my sex life, my mother was furious and agreed that I had every right to cut her out of my life. At one point, my mother, during a phone conversation with my sister, called her out, calling my sister childish, petty, and vindictive, and said that if she ever found out that she was posting any intimate details about any family members online like that again, she wouldn't hesitate to find a lawyer. She also threatened to kick my sister out of the house if she didn't stop her nonsense. While she was away at school, she did live at my mom's house during summer breaks/holidays. I'm not sure if there was any actual legal repercussions my mom could have actually made against her, but it was enough to make my sister set her blog/Twitter to private after my mom browbeat her into submission for being so shitty. Due to this, my sister and my mom had a huge falling out as well, with my sister repeating the same old adage of how it was her personal blog/Twitter so she could do whatever she wanted with it/on it. Christmas rolled around and me and sister still weren't talking, and while my mom had patched things up with her to a degree, it was an awkward holiday. Me and my brother both live independently. When we went over to visit for holiday stuff, we're civil and polite towards our sister, but we never failed to notice her on her phone 24/7. We could only speculate what she was doing, but I was less bothered now that she had set her blogs to private. Regardless, during a dinner at one point, she was on her phone and my mom asked her to put her phone down so we could have family time. She responded along the lines of, "Yeah, 1 minute," and my brother made a jab about how she was probably too busy posting bullshit lies about us on the internet. I should mention that while my sister doesn't seem to care what I think/ask of her, she has always seemed to respond and care about what my brother thinks. She tried to fight him on his comment for a minute, but he shut her down, calling her a fucking child who just wants internet points, and straight up said that if she was a decent fucking human being she would talk to us about her problems instead of cowering behind a screen. She shut up after that and retreated to her room after dinner was done. After Christmas, I continued to have zero contact with her. I would hear about how she was doing in school via our mom from time to time, but still had her blocked on all social media. She came home for the summer to work, and that summer our grandma, my deceased father's mother, died. My sister ended up having a complete breakdown due to the culminating and unworked through grief surrounding our father, who had died 2 years previous, and now our grandma. She started going to therapy and actually taking her medication. Eventually, she reached out and apologized to me about her behavior the past few years. We had a sit-down that fall, over some beers, and talked about everything that had happened and her behavior. I told her while I accepted her apology, it would take some time for me to work through her how behavior had affected me and our relationship. I unblocked her on FB so we could make a group chat with our brother as a buffer. We now occasionally talk, but we still aren't as close as we used to be when we were younger. I actually went to lunch with her the last time she was in town, and it felt okay. So that's it, here we are. TLDR. Blocked my sister on all forms of social media and cut contact, only participating in it during holiday events/funerals. Brother and mother supported my decision and made it clear to her they didn't stand for her behavior. Sister ended up going to therapy and actually taking her medication and later apologized. We occasionally talk now, but we aren't close anymore. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, thank you.